Now we're looking at snapping to grid. Okay, see this in view. This is grid, and we're looking at baseline grid. If you untick this baseline grid, see the lines which had appeared on my doc sheet, it has disappeared now. On the view, I'll click on baseline grid first. So I'll bring this baseline grid, and now the next what I'll do is I'll click on snap to baseline grid. Okay, that is ticked. Tick this snap to baseline grid here. Now I'll try to keep a text, place a text here. This is some paragraph text what I have typed. Okay. Now as I drag this text, you will see the lines, those are snapping to your this one text. The text is tapping to those lines. You see this text, the text is snapping, this is sticking to those lines. Okay, so now you see all the bottom text is exactly aligned to the document grids. Okay, so to do that, so I'll start again. I'll keep this text as it was before. Okay, first what I'll do is I'll on the view, I'll go to grid and bring this baseline grid first. I'll view, go to this grid and click on baseline grid. I get these grids, and this text I'll keep it on my this one, on this sheet, and first line what we'll do is I'll align to this, the bottom part of the first line I'll align to this baseline grid lines. Okay, this way I'll align. Now what I want is to all the lines to be bottom aligned to these grids. The grid what you see, these are the lines what you see, that's called bottom grid. So for that what I'll do is I will align to the first line, I will align to the first document grid, and next I'll go to this tool here, shape tool. I click on that shape tool and simply drag my mouse. Go to the shape tool and simply click on this paragraph text, and here on the bottom see this arrow, I'll drag here. See, as I drag, the lines are being aligned to the text lines. The text, the bottom part of that has been aligned to all the document grids. See, now all the lines, text lines have been aligned equally. Now if I remove this grid, baseline grid, you'll see now the text is been equally aligned. Okay, this is how you can align the text through document grid by snapping to document grid. This is the use of snap to baseline grid. Now the next one is snap to guidelines. Okay, now suppose I have a guideline here. So first what I'll do is I'll click on guidelines. I got these guidelines here now. Now next one is I'll go to snap to and click on snap to guidelines. Okay, now snap guideline is whenever I move an object, the one part of an object by default it sticks to the guidelines. See, now suppose if I want to draw an object like this, this particular square box what you see, I want to draw that type of box, I'll simply go to rectangle and I'll drag my mouse. See, now it automatically attaches to the mouse cursor attaches to the guidelines, and you can draw a perfect box. Now fill the color and see this box has been drawn. Now even when you move the box, you can any portion of the one of your object part, whichever is nearer to this guideline, it sticks to this guideline. Okay, now this is basically used for alignment. Okay, now suppose I want to align 2-3 different objects exactly on the bottom. I'll simply keep my first I'll delete all the guidelines. To do that, I'll go to edit, select all, and guidelines. I'll delete all the guidelines. Now I'll take a guideline here. Okay, I'll keep a guideline here, and I want 2 to 3 different objects to be aligned on the bottom side. Okay, I'll keep this one object align, second object. See, now it is attaching to the bottom part. Okay, so in this way I can align all my object to bottom side. Now if I remove this guideline, you see all the objects have been aligned in the bottom now. Okay, this is the use of snapping your snap to guideline. Okay, that's the use of snap to guideline. Now next one is I'll untick this Next is snap to object. If I untick the snapping, means the attachment of to guidelines, it cancels that command. Okay, now the snap to object. Snap to object is basically if you want to connect one object to another object, you can click on the see. Now as I drag my object, it attaches to your another object. That's the use of snap. In the same way as it attaches to attaches to your guidelines, in the same way it attaches to your objects. One object it by default attaches to another object, connects to another object, you can say. And last one is snap to page. Snap to page is your object, it connects to your page and page border this way. Your object connects to the page border. That is the use of snap to page. Okay. Next one is dynamic guide. Is the same thing like dynamic guides and alignment guides. Next, what you see is setup. Setup is basically if you want to set your ruler, guideline or snapping, for that purpose this command can be used. Now first what you will see in setup is grid and ruler setup. See, as I click, the option appears here. You can set your this one grid. Suppose if you want horizontal grid to be 0.2, vertical to be 0.2, you can increase or decrease your grids here. Baseline grid spacing, increasing or decreasing the spacing of grids and everything, you can do it from here. In setup again, guideline setup. Guideline is this one, this is the guideline. Now if you want to add or delete the guidelines, you can do it from here. I'll select this. See, the guideline has been added. See, in setup, guideline setup, if you want to change the guideline color, now this is blue. If you want to change some other color, do that from here. And this is snapping, you can do it from here. To show or to unshow the guidelines, you can tick or untick this from here. Now again, if you want to view setup in guidelines, suppose if you want to add few more guidelines, I can simply put some figure here, click on show guidelines. Remember to tick this show guidelines, otherwise the guideline won't be shown. So from bottom you see this is 20 millimeters. If you keep it as -20 and add, it goes beyond the page. And in the same way, if you want vertical guideline, you can add it from here. So here you can insert the guideline through figures. Okay, at 40 millimeters you want a guideline, you can add a guideline. If you want to clear all the guideline, you can do that. If you want to add, you can put some figure, add the guideline. If you want to delete that guideline, select that guideline and delete. And also you can change the millimeter to centimeter, inches, anything. Okay, that everything you can do here in setup. The snapping to objects also you can do it from here. Object and on all the settings. So these are all the default setting. Unless and until required, I suggest you do not disturb this setting. Okay. So this is a very crucial commands, because the changes what you do here without your complete knowledge will affect the entire CorelDRAW operating system. Okay. So I would suggest to keep all these settings as default and do not change the settings unless and until required. And once you are very much experienced or have a very good knowledge of CorelDRAW. So this setup is, and in the same way alignment guide setting is also the same way. Okay, this is to change the setting of guidelines, grids and everything.